Momentum investing at its core is buying winners. Today, we're talking with Dr. Jack Vogel of Alpha Architect on why momentum investing can be an excellent component to long-term investment success. If you're interested in taking your investment game to the next level or simply understanding this philosophy better, stay tuned. All right, Jack. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. We're going to dive right into it. What is momentum investing?
Well, thanks for having me on. Momentum investing, simply put, is an attempt to buy the winning stocks in the market. So you're going to examine every time you rebalance your portfolio, try to find the stocks that have done the best, and you're going to simply rebalance and buy those stocks that have done well over the past year.
Jack, when does momentum investing tend to work best?
So momentum investing tends to work best, I would say, in two types of scenarios. So one is if you have like an intermediate term space where the market just tends to just go kind of straight up. So we look at like 2020, right? Unfortunately, after the pandemic hit, when the market rebounded, momentum investing did pretty well because everything just went kind of up. So you were invested in it. Now, over longer time cycles, like 3 to 4 or 5 years, momentum will do well if there's these longer instances where one industry or certain industries will do well. So the past 5 years, we've seen, in general, technology, information, data type industries have done well. And not surprisingly, momentum has done well over that time period.
Got it. So what market environments tend to be challenging for the momentum investing strategy?
Yeah, so momentum investing can have challenges in two types of environments. One is when you have a sudden reversal in industries that are leading the market. So an instance that comes to mind would be like the internet bubble, right? So the internet stocks led all of the stocks up, led the market up. And then very quickly thereafter, actually safer stocks were leading the market, right? So that's one instance. A second instance is if you have over, a longer time period, but, every month there's a new industry leading the market up. Like you have financials this month, industrials next month. That can be more challenging relative to the time, as I mentioned earlier, where you might have a few small industries that lead the market up.
Jack, can you tell us a few specifics of how you specifically manage the momentum strategy for optimal performance?
Yeah, so simply momentum investing is just buying winning stocks, but there's some enhancements one can make. So I'll mention 4 of them that we make. So the first is we attempt to, when we look at our momentum names, we try to eliminate high momentum stocks that happen to be very volatile. We do this via a measure called frog in the pan, but for simplicity, let's say we're basically trying to look for high momentum stocks that have less volatility in the marketplace. Second, momentum is an anomaly and a factor that you need to actually rebalance more frequently. So a value factor, for instance, you maybe can rebalance every year or 2 years, but momentum, you do need to rebalance more often. So we rebalance ours every 3 months. Third, what we do is we attempt to, when we rebalance our funds, take advantage of certain seasonality impacts that happen in the market, and we try to rebalance our funds near the beginning of quarter ending months. So for example, we would rebalance near the beginning of December to take advantage of the fact that a lot of times people know at the end of the year, you may not want to sell your winners at the end of the year, but you'll definitely sell your losers, right? So momentum will generally it does pretty well in December. So we try to not front run, but take advantage of this trade and rebalance our fund then. And then last is we take a more concentrated approach relative to other funds out there. So currently we hold 50 stocks and we equal weight our bets across them. So those 4, I would say, little tweaks are parts of our system that we use to try to enhance just relative to a simple momentum strategy.
Awesome. That's great, Jack. Obviously, this is a very high level overview of what momentum investing is and some of the details of what sets your momentum strategy apart. I know Alpha Architect has a lot of great resources and education for investors. Where can people learn more?
Yeah, so you can simply go to our website. It's just alphaarchitect.com. And on there, we have a blog that's very active. We try to post, 2 to 3 new posts a week, as well as a lot of tools that investors may find interesting.
That's great. And we've also laid out in our investment strategy how we utilize this specific strategy as part of our investment philosophy. So we'll link to that below as well. Well, thank you, Jack, for being here. We really appreciate your time and your expertise.
Thanks for having me on.